Hey, welcome in everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich back in the saddle here this evening for live weather impact here on WCNC Plus. Another gloomy day. We had a little bit of a lull yesterday with just drizzle or mist. It's really started to pick up again tonight, and we've got one more surge of moisture we're going to have to get through before we start to dry out for Thursday and especially for Halloween and the weekend. We're going to start with what I think is a pretty good view right now down in Monroe and Union County. This is our Monroe camera on our Mr. Sparky camera network. A couple things you notice here. Visibility is not great. You look off in the distance, you're having trouble seeing. It's definitely wet. And man, look at that fall color. Even in downtown there, they're starting to get some fall color. And that's one thing I noticed. Around the Charlotte area, we're starting to see some pretty good fall color show up and a lot of leaf drop. The leaves are blowing everywhere right now. So that adds to the slick roads out there. So just give yourself a couple extra car lengths when you're driving today, because the wet roads, the leaves, and the fact that we've got some fog. Visibility in some locations about a mile or less. It's not crazy. I wouldn't call it dense fog, but it's certainly making for a rough evening commute, and flying into the airport, probably a few delays out there. Temperatures haven't moved much. If you love 48 to 53 degrees, that has pretty much been the last 72 hours. We have not budged much on temperature. I think the high today was 53, the low was 48. That has pretty much been the last couple of days. But the rain is back, and like we've seen the last couple of days, the radar doesn't do justice to this. There's definitely some pockets of heavier rain out there, but even in between the pockets of heavier rain, there's drizzle or mist falling. You really can't see it on the radar. The particles are so tiny, and it's also low in the atmosphere, that the radar beam either misses it or overshoots it completely. So don't be tricked by the radar and think, there's nothing going on out there. It is certainly raining in all locations, and you can see why. We've got this big spin, a low pressure system spinning counterclockwise back to the west. That's what's pinwheeling all of this moisture into our area, and that's going to continue for a while. In fact, until that low gets past us, we're likely going to see the rain persist into the overnight hours before a little bit of a break. So tonight's forecast looks familiar. 48 again, right? 48, 47. Rain chances are ramping up, probably closer to 80% overnight. Tomorrow, rain chances go down to 20% as the day goes on, because the winds will shift to the west. And the reason it warms up, we scour out that cold air that's trapped against the mountains. We call it cold air damming. It gets pushed out. Plus, we're going to see the sun return. That's something we have not seen since Sunday. So we finally get to see the sun return tomorrow. So just wait. 24 hours from now, you'll enjoy it. Because we want to see the sun as much as possible, because we've got the time change this weekend, and it's going to feel like it's dark even longer than it is. That's coming up on Sunday. So let's go hour by hour. Futurecast shows, like our radar, doesn't do justice to the amount of rain, but it does good on the timing. The rain probably starts to move out around sunrise tomorrow. On the backside, northwest winds pick up, kind of scour out all the low cloud deck, warm us up into the 60s. So I do think a pretty nice Thursday afternoon and evening commute. But then we go into Friday. This is Halloween. Wall-to-wall sunshine, chilly in the morning, and definitely chilly for trick-or-treating, because temperatures will be in the 40s, but the afternoons will be delightful, back into the 60s with lots of sunshine. How much more rain could we see? Most of us have seen anywhere from an inch to 3 inches since Monday morning, really Sunday night. But now we're going to pick up an additional maybe quarter to a half an inch for the Piedmont, and for the mountains, maybe up to an inch. So for the whole week, most areas are going to be in that 1 to 3.5 inch range. Not going to end the drought, but it's certainly going to help. We need about 6 inches of rain over a 30-day period to officially end the drought. So we only probably got a third or a half of that, depending on where you are. Now, the Halloween weekend, it is a weekend for a lot of folks, because Halloween's on a Friday, so it is kind of stretching out the weekend for some of us. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, mid-60s, those are the highs, with sunshine during the day, but at night, temperatures will be in the 30s and 40s. In particular, Saturday morning could be really crisp and cool. So that's Friday night into Saturday morning. So if you are going to be trick-or-treating or out late Friday night or early Saturday, just be prepared. That could be one of the coldest nights we've seen so far. So bundle the kiddos up, bundle yourself up, because once that sun goes down, which is at 6:30 on Friday evening, it's going to get chilly. Aches and pains forecast. If you get aches and pains when the weather changes, it's usually because of atmospheric pressure. When the pressure is low, especially dramatic drops in pressure, it causes fluid in your joints to expand. And if you have arthritis or an injury, this is why your uncle always says he was a human barometer, because of his bad knee or bad hip. It's actually legit sign. So you do see a little bit of that inflammation expand when it's lower. When the pressure goes back up, sometimes people can experience headaches if they get migraines for constricted blood vessels. But for the most part, it's the drop in pressure that causes, or just rapid changes in general. So right now, you're probably feeling some discomfort. That does start to improve as we go into the weekend, because we'll see sunny skies and high pressure return. Long-term forecast, starting to see those temperatures warm up a little bit. Now, I should put the big caveat here. Above average now is upper 60s, okay? The average high is around 67, 68. So if you get close to 70, that would be an above normal day. And so in early November, our averages start falling pretty quickly into the 60s. So when you see a 30% chance of above average temperatures, I don't think crazy hot, just think a little bit abnormally warm for this time of the year. The weekend forecast, a lot going on this weekend. Folks will be out and about with the holiday on Friday and the weekend normal activities, but also a word of caution, this is the time change weekend. It's always great when you can set the clocks back 1 hour and get that extra hour of sleep Saturday night into Sunday morning. Technically at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, it goes back to 1 a.m., so it's like time travel. You go back in time a little bit here. But the great thing about this is you get an extra hour of sleep. The bad thing about this, on Sunday night, the sun is going to set at around 5:30. So it is going to get dark super early on Sunday. And most folks don't notice it Sunday. They notice it Monday when they go back to work, because they're like, what the heck? It's dark out when I'm already, at work still. Here's a look at your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Again, temperatures pretty moderate. In the mid 60s, morning lows in the 40s. We'll set the clock back Saturday night, Sunday morning. Could see a few showers Monday, Tuesday. Right now, it looks like more of a Tuesday event than a Monday event, especially the later we get in the day. We'll show you the 10-day forecast and kind of show you pretty good consistency here. Not a hard forecast when every day is about the same temperature. The only change is the rain chance is sprinkled in there Monday, Tuesday, and possibly going into next Saturday. That's when we'll see the rain chance. But a good long look there shows you that's pretty good weather for this time of year, and at least we're going to get a couple more chances of rain.